Hi, this is Gautam. I'll be taking you through the SOA demonstration today. Coming to introduction part of MindMajix. Coming to myself, I'm into Oracle Fusion middleware stream from past 8 years. I started my career with Oracle, and it was a developer where I started my career. And mostly my job profession at my beginning of the stage was to analyze where exactly we can fit the SOA into the real-time world. So that is the scope where I've got into the more of designing part, very early stages of my early stages of my career. And coming to part of experience that I have, I mostly hold on the SOA as well as OSP applications, and I have worked with IBM for 2 years where I have performed end-to-end projects which is into telecom stream, and that gave me a very good experience of going through the end-to-end process and very complex issues that we have resolved during that point of time, which made me much confident and more interested towards debugging and the part of issue resolution and as such in Oracle SOA Suite as well as OSP. And right now I'm working as a solution architect for one of the manufacturing company based out of US, and as a part of spending time, I'm sharing my experience as well as the training knowledge with MindMajix. It's been 9 months I'm associated with it. How is it going on? Some of the most frequently asked questions during my training part, I have made a note so that we can take up the questions at the end of the session. Coming to Oracle SOA Suite, it is a complete enterprise application building tool where it is capable enough of integrating the multiple applications at the enterprise level. We get more deeper into that part of introduction, and has a prefix like a prerequisite. We do not really require any knowledge or any basic application skills related to start the particular training. It will be something like the relevant knowledge we will be giving with respect to XML, web services, REST-based API, and other courses. Our demonstrations with respect to the practical part will be very much real-time. These will be the real-time projects. Mostly we will be into the part of real-time projects. We will be doing the practicals in the real-time, where we will be going through the design, and we will be connecting to the multiple systems and accessing them and creating the integrations. And I have like a huge collection of material from the time I started my career, and I go through the blogs, and this I collected huge material. So where I'm just sharing that in a Google Drive to my participants who are attending the trainings, and as such, it will be something like if I share the link, it will be mostly like lifetime access, and there is no disconnection that we restrict the access after some time. It will be available, and I keep on updating the blog as well as the relevant materials whichever I find interesting during my browsing and such. So it will be the most updated material we will be having in that one. And we will also have the interview questions. There is few of the certification related downs. We also provide the part of resume assistance in case if you are looking out for opportunities in Oracle SOA Suite. Usually my participants mostly are the real-time working students who will attend the sessions along with their regular work profile, and they will sometimes do not get the time to participate completely and practice them during the training sessions. So I support them after the training also for 2 months of time where they can sit in the same timings and do the practice when my sessions are done. So we will be offering, I will be offering 2 months of mentoring support where they are struck after the training classes are done, they are practicing and they got some doubt. I'll be there to help them out for the email, WhatsApp, as well as in case if they want any revision of the topic. In that way, we give the complete assistance so that they get full-fledged knowledge as well as the full-fledged, basically they can acquire the full-fledged knowledge on this and get a good grip over the particular course which they have spent so that they can be well equipped with that knowledge. Coming to the course curriculum, we have the concepts with respect to SOA. We'll be covering the concepts, how they can be implemented in real time and how to analyze where exactly we can fix SOA application into the business of the client and as such. And we will be managing and monitoring SOA composite applications, how exactly through EM console and the administrative consoles where the deployed composites needs to be monitored and managed, and what are the environments that we are going to set up will be there. And we have few of the components like Butel, Mediator, Business Tools, and Human Workflow, which will be helping us to do our development perspective. So we will be dealing in depth with the Butel component and the activities that are available in the Butel component, and we will be doing the real-time project examples where we will try to implement of what we have learned during the activity phase and as such. And mediator component is something which is used for a routing purpose. We will do the implementation of the practical after going through the features of the component, and we also have the adapters which will be capable enough of connecting to multiple systems. Majorly, we will be covering the DB adapter, file adapter, FTP, as well as CMS adapters, and we will be doing the practical. Whereas the e-business suite cloud-related adapters, Salesforce adapter, SAP adapter, Siebel adapter, e-business suite adapter, these systems are huge where the setup is quite impossible during our trainings. We cover these particular adapters and provide the real-time examples on how exactly these are going to work. And coming to the business tools as well as human workflow components, they have their own priority in building up the enterprise-related interfaces. We will be going through in-depth concepts of business tools as well as human workflow. And there is a product which is being acquired by Oracle from BEA Systems called Oracle Service Bus. Right now in 12C, they have merged both OSB as well as the SOA. So we will be also going through the concepts of Oracle Service Bus and doing the practical parts. So once after this course is completed, the participant will be ready to get onto the floor and do the development, because we are going to take you through the real-time projects and provide you the real-time environment where exactly it is something like doing the similar real-time project in real-time world. So that's how it makes a difference when you go out with MindMajix on this. Basically, coming to today's agenda, we have a very small understanding on what exactly the application does and what exactly SOA stands for and as such. And we will be going through few of the topics of Oracle SOA Suite on implementation into the real-time world with real-time examples where exactly this particular SOA application can fit into, so that we can understand the flavor of the Oracle SOA Suite. And we also have understanding of where exactly SOA stands in perspective of on career perspective, where how much is the scope in the market and how much we will be going through. And we will be also going through what are the certifications available, and the projects that we are going to do, and the course material that we are offering and such. So let's start with something like what exactly a SOA is meant to be. Coming to SOA, the full form stands to be Service Oriented Architecture. SOA stands for Service Oriented Architecture. Service here is the point or the word that needs to be noted. One, whereas service is something which is provided over the network. Service which is provided over the network, like we have a few of the websites which are providing the stock market, stock prices, mostly like quotes of the stock prices. They can be considered as a service. We can consider the climate related information which is being displayed over the internet can be considered as a service. Because if I want to go outside and find out the weather forecast that will be displayed over the web, and I am the user and the client for the particular service. So where exactly SOA fits into the picture is, as we see that many applications there in today's market, like SAP, SAP, whereas like Salesforce is also available for its own domain. We have Workday related as well as SCM related software applications, and we have ERP domain-based applications. In real-time world, what exactly the situation is, SAP system cannot speak to Salesforce system, whereas Salesforce cannot speak to EBS system. To coordinate between the multiple applications, we require these particular enterprise level applications which have good enough capability to integrate between the multiple applications. That is where SOA gets into picture. We might take example of this particular service orchestration, where we will find this particular orchestration of these services when multiple applications come into picture. For example, we have something like British Airways, which is offering something like service with respect to the flight ticket booking, and we find that most of the travelers who are traveling from London to Paris are the tourists who are going to stay and again book the hotel in a separate, has a separate service. British Airways realizes that and wanted to place these particular, realizes that and places that particular service want to place that particular service into the British Airways website, and later on they find that the service is platform independent, and it is not exactly the same platform where British Airways is using. To collate with each other or to talk to each other, we as a SOA application is capable enough of taking the functionalities that are available in that particular platform or the application and try to provide the relevant services to the British Airways website, where they can connect to the relevant tourism related hotel bookings and try to connect in such a way. On the whole, it is an application which will be able to integrate or to communicate between the multiple target systems is at an enterprise level is the service-oriented architecture. There were many versions from Oracle SOA Suite, right from 10G, 11G. Right now, they have into Oracle SOA Suite 12G, which is capable enough of taking the integration space more occupied with internet on like IoT, as well as the mobile integrations, as well as the cloud-related integrations very easily when compared to other integration tools. This particular integration tool is capable enough of getting into this Internet of Things as well as the mobile integration as well as cloud related services very easily without much of coding. So that's how this particular SOA Suite is being developed. And I'll be just taking you through best or the better examples so that we can better understand how exactly SOA can be utilized. Nowadays, online shopping as well as online related websites become more where people are very much interested in getting onto the smartphones and really do the shopping or onto the tablet or onto a desktop and just key in the orders very quickly so that they get the product delivered at their doorstep. But at the back end, it leads to a very huge process where my journey, for example, think of a situation I wanted to start a e-commerce website. I need the vendors or the partners who are able to display their specifications and the products onto my website. I get in touch with the vendors or partners. They say that we are from different platform and they might be just giving me the data with the different related options. Like one of the vendor might state that I'm using the database where I'll place the data into that particular table, just pick the data from that particular table and display it onto the website. Some other person may say, or the vendor says, I may just give it onto the file, just take that data from the file and try to do the specification display onto the website. Some other person may say, give me the REST API, I'm into the cloud services, I'll be keying in the specification. Some other vendor may say that they are going to just display the data on the web service and we need to take the data from web service and display it over our website. So I have to cater multiple vendors because I have to run the business. So I will be using the resources, relevant functionalities, relevant resources, and then getting integrated through the softwares to my partners who are in multiple. Once after my partners integration gets fixed, I have to look over certain things like maintaining some of the pre-stock in my warehouses where I can immediately give the promise of delivering it very sooner to my customer, which is oftenly purchased over the website. So I maintain few of the warehouses to maintain few of the stocks. So I integrate that with my application so that whenever stocks which are often sold over the website can be maintained here and quick delivery is possible to customer. I in turn have to select the shipment related options from the different courier services where I need to find out the vendors for that particular location. I need to integrate. So if I see this part of integrations of one-to-one application interaction, it is quite cumbersome and my main business was to promote the products online. But the situation over here is I started managing the things at back end on how each and every participant or the partner or a vendor who participates in my business is needs to be managed. So my main business has been to the part of concentration of IT, but my intention of goal was to promote the products online. So that makes a lot of difference. To ease this particular model where we get SOA into the picture, SOA is capable enough of interacting with any application irrespective of the platform or the domain. That is the biggest asset or added advantage why SOA is able to capture good enough market on the integration space. So one of the if we just redesign that particular process with the Oracle SOA Suite, we are capable enough of taking the request from the user directly, and any type of partner, he might be using the database, file system, remote system, JMS queues or topics. He might be using SAP application, might be using e-business suite or cloud related applications or any type of applications. We are able to connect using the adapters and try to take the data from that particular vendors on the on-hand available quantity and provide it to the users. Once after the user is able to select that, then we will be sending the request to the shipment department. If those products are from most often sold products, then we can directly go to the warehouse and check the on-hand quantity from the warehouse and then provide the service to the response back to the user with the available quantity and the like the product they want to purchase. Once after the confirmation is done through the payment, it will be sent to the shipment related department so that they can pick the stock from the warehouse or the partner accordingly and send this particular product to the doorstep of the customer. While sending the particular product to this door delivery of the consumer or the user, we might be sending the notifications that this particular product is in fact shipped and as such, where we can understand that this particular product status is at this point of time. So we have something called Unified Messaging Service, which is a part of Oracle SOA Suite, which is capable enough of triggering SMS, email, as well as fax. So using that notification monitor service, we can trigger the status updates to the user, and user will be aware of what exactly the product status is. In case of any issues that we are going to get from customer, we are going to take the request from customer support team, and support team is going to raise the request with SOA operations, which is a single point of contact from the support. As we have the participation into end-to-end business over here, we will be able to check through the integration space and the monitoring tools that are available in SOA Suite and address the query of the customer within the SLA that is being requested for the priority of the ticket. So we will be able to assist, and here the customer support team is going to deal with single point of contact, whereas in this particular structure, everyone has to struggle and there is no single point of contact where multiple ways we are just trying to integrate. And any breakage in the system, we are not sure who will be taking the ownership and following up. Whereas in this one, as we are the middleware tool which or integration application who are coordinating with everyone, we shall be surely in touch with all other application systems and try to provide the services on ad hoc. And when we get this particular software approach, we find following advantages when implementing this particular structure with Oracle SOA Suite. The consumer of the service to be decoupled with the service provider at any point of time. Whereas in the point-to-point integration, I am separately allocating the service resources, infrastructure to certain vendors or the providers. Whenever vendor wants to leave our service, I have to think of the damage that is happening in the perspective of the resources that I have allocated, the time I have spent in investing the resources, and the part of time I have spent in developing the software, and all these needs to be considered when point-to-point integration is in. But whereas here, as the single application is capable enough of communicating with any application irrespective of platform, it will be able to just we can just disable that particular service and no resources damage or the wastage of the particular services is not, wastage of that particular resources will not be there in this particular service provider. And a business process is decomposed into discrete reusable functional components. For example, if I'm creating a web service for one of the courier-based vendor, I can provide the same web service to multiple vendors who can key in the request to us. So I can reutilize those web services or REST-based services which we have developed. However, the database related applications or the applications which are pointed out for specific things cannot be reused. The schemas that are available for building up these particular services can also be reused. We can realize the following benefits out of this particular structure. It improves the business agility, and we are going to remove the barriers between the business units and the business partners, as SOA stands to be single point of contact, which will be capable enough of providing the services to end-to-end business systems. That is the real big advantages over here. And it's going to lower the cost of maintaining IT systems, and we are going to speed up the delivery of the application as we are participating in end-to-end business. And we are going to protect the IT investments by reusing the existing infrastructure. These are certain advantages we find with Oracle SOA Suite on the part of. Coming to this particular technology and the market, it is occupied, it has almost like 200 plus companies. Oracle has acquired 200 plus companies. If you see the list, we find NetSuite, Java, which is of Sun Microsystems, Primavera, and JDeveloper, Hyperion, Siebel, PeopleSoft. So the technologies have been, companies have been acquired from a long-standing time, and we have 200 plus companies. And all these 200 are different applications. And these all 200 different applications are definitely going to use Oracle SOA as the integration tool, as it is the tool that will be capable enough of integrating multiple applications irrespective of platform as well as domain. So 200 plus companies are promoted into various, will be having the various client base and as such. SOA has a very, very vast scope, and especially with Oracle SOA Suite 12c, they have made integrations very, very, very easy with mobile Internet of Things as well as the cloud, so that the way we develop these particular integrations are easy to utilize, and they are going to consume very less time for the development also, so that the implementation of the projects can be much quicker when compared to building up it up with vast code and as such. And coming to the roles of SOA Suite, we will find developers. Basically, we can be a consultant and technical lead, and once after the experience of certain 10 to 12 years, the person will be capable enough of getting into a role of a solution architect, and architect where they can design the systems and provide the services over there. We have certification available for Oracle SOA Suite, which is SOA Suite 12c Essentials. The exam number code is IZ0434, which approximately costs about somewhere around $200 plus. And the format is of multiple choice questions, where we have to select the multiple choice questions, and duration is of 120 minutes. We'll have 78 questions, of which the passing score should be something like 73%. The questions include both SOA as well as OSP coverage, which we will be completely covering these particular topics which are needed for certification. Person will be capable enough of going through and completing their certifications. Once after they go through the course, they can just take some 30 days of time to prepare on the part of theory where they do need to just understand how the questions, and we provide the certification terms, which will be an added advantage for writing the certifications. And we are going to basically deal with two major real-time projects in our training part. One of the projects that we are going to deal with includes both Oracle SOA as well as OSD services, where we are trying to take the data from multiple vendors. One of the vendors might be offering the data in a database, and one of the vendor might be giving the data from a web service. One of the vendor might be giving the data from a REST page. So I'm going to coordinate all the 4 or 5 vendors or multiple vendors and create an enterprise level architecture to consume the data and process the data to my target system, so that the process will be capable enough of understanding how many vendors we have, how many promoters we have, and as such details can be captured at an enterprise level. So we are going to follow the AIA architecture, where we will be having application business model as well as enterprise business model, and the application business model, where we treat that particular architecture as requester provider related requester and provider related architecture. So based upon that, we will be doing this particular part of practical, which will be completely with the real-time components. And all it requires is a 4 GB RAM and 64-bit processor. We are going to share you the software with respect to Oracle JDeveloper 12c, which has SOA Suite and OSD. We are going to share the steps and assist you on the deployment of the software into local systems, so that you can utilize and practice this anytime you are willing to, so that you can get you do not have any dependency on this particular software. And the other project that we are going to do is there is a technician app where a technician will get a request whenever any particular inventory, or for example we have issue with certain refrigerator part. For example, there is a lamp in the refrigerator which has turned off, and you call up the call center. There will be creation of work order. That work order, once received or keyed in by the customer service team onto their system, how they are going to process that particular work order, the invoices, the charges, and all these systems which are involved in the back-end process, and the creation of the work order to the technician application, that you have an appointment with this particular user and he has raised the request that the lamp has been turned off and he needs assistance from this particular service. So how exactly and what is the appointment date? How are we going to schedule and reschedule these things? This real-time scenario will be discussed as well as implemented on how the coordination and the involvement of Oracle SOA Suite will be there. Will be the second project which we are going to implement using Oracle SOA Suite as well as OSD, which gives you the complete order management as well as the real-time integration experience, where you will be capable enough of developing the services when given an opportunity in real-time world. These would be most exciting projects where you involve, question me, as well as take my assistance and do the part of practicals and get a very good experience out of it, which will really help you in acquiring a real-time knowledge, and you will understand and experience the flavor of SOA in implementation of this particular integration implementation in the real-time world. This is something which is making this particular training to be most different from very other institutes that they are offering. So these particular projects give us very good experience, which will make us get onto a real-time floor and able to do the part of developments and implement it in SOA applications into real-time world. These are the added projects which we are able to just get real-time good experience with and do. So coming to lab setup, we are going to have it's more than enough for us to go ahead. If we have 4 GB RAM and 64-bit processor, we will be sharing you the software and step-by-step installation guide where you can install those softwares. And once the software installation is done, you have the software available with you where you can just implement it anywhere and practice it anywhere. So the software restrictions are also not there, like it will be only 2 months access or 1 month access. It will be a lifetime access to your software, and you can practice anytime by logging in, with respect of whether the instance is available or not. So basically, we will help you for the installation process, as well as you will not have any part of dependency that instance should be on. In case if your instance is down, call up the institute and then work on just downtime and all that. That will not be there. So it's a hassle-free installation with very simple steps, as well as all it requires is a 4 GB RAM. And coming to the course material, as I've already informed you during our first slides, that I have been collecting the information with respect to these particular blogs as well as this from long time. I have enabled it all at one place in the Google Drive. I'll be sharing you that particular link where you can go through the part of material, and I do have the case studies material available in the same, and a few of the useful links for different scenarios and errors and as such, and few of the interview questions, sample resumes, and we also have the resume preparations assistance, which we'll be providing after going through sample resumes. If you still need assistance, you can also just come back to us. And we also have the interview questions available, which you can go through and you can come back to me anytime on any sort of assistance. Any questions or with respect to the demonstrations or the part of timings and all this, we can discuss with MindMajix. Here are the email ID and phone numbers that have been provided. We can also provide the demonstration on weekends usually. So you can also enroll yourself for that particular demonstrations once again in case if you have any questions and that needs to be sorted out and such. So that's it from my end. Thank you so much. Please share your feedback so that it will help us improve our quality and trainings further. Thank you so much.